Hey good looking, welcome back to the channel. Today I thought I would go ahead and show you how the Soleil looks very similar in response to the Biba palette. Since so many of you guys were interested in the Lorac Fairy Tale Forest palette, I thought I would go ahead and also look at the Soleil palette. I know a couple of you mentioned that you had the Soleil palette, so if you bought both the Soleil and the Lorac Fairy Tale Forest, that would be $80. I didn't even pay $80 for this one palette. So if I recommended, oh hey, just go ahead and hop out and get these two palettes, or even better, get the Soleil and the Noir palette, and that would definitely cover you as far as the Biba goes. You're spending $80, and I didn't even spend $80 on this palette. However, I know that right now it's worth $129, and I got kind of like a special deal extended to me because I wanted to purchase the Lila palette and they were out of stock, so they let me go ahead and sub in whatever palette I wanted, and I did get to choose the Biba, so that's why I got it. Anyways, long story short, I'm not going to recommend, Noir and Soleil. I'm not going to recommend Fairy Tale and Noir or anything like that. I just want to show, like, in comparison to the Fairy Tale Forest, how close does it come to Biba, and we got about a little under 50%. Now, we can already tell that these three shadows right here are basically off the board because they're like neutral to cool tones. Actually, this does look like it might be warm. I don't know. I just wanted to show you, how close the Soleil palette comes. Now, we don't have a black, but Noir has a black, and if I would have been able to buy Noir for the $22 price point last Black Friday, then I could probably have showcased how close Noir is. Now, Noir is the cool tone version of these types of palettes, so I really don't think we would have gotten too much farther than maybe these three shades right here. I got the dog with me, so he's gonna be unboxing an empty box, so if you hear that in the background, my apologies, but I gotta keep him busy. Let's go ahead and see here what we've got that's very similar in color. I also want to talk about the formula. Formula's fairly close. Out of all of the shadows that you could recommend, I would say this is about the closest you're going to get in formulation to this. This is very creamy, very buttery, ultra milled. I would say this is a little bit higher up, but not by much. And to the naked eye, you probably wouldn't be able to tell. And as far as blending goes, again, probably not going to be able to tell that. They are, got my hands all good and wiped off from the previous video. Hopefully you guys got to check that one out. If not, I will link it in the cards up above, but I'm just going to assume that somebody wanted to see this, and we'll go ahead and run with it. So here we go. Let's get started. First things first, I do see that Warm Vanilla looks very close to Tusk, and if it's not that shade, then I'm assuming that it'll be Nectar, but looky, kind of close. Let's go ahead and do this. Yeah, so Nectar is going to be close to Tusk, and you can even see by swatching. And now I will say this is a smaller pan size, so I'm not able to get a good swirl like I am on this 2.5 gram pan. So that might be the differentiation that we're seeing between the swatches. I will say that does matter, believe it or not, it does matter. I did watch somebody's video, and they had to double swatch on the smaller pans. Otherwise, it will look a little bit different. So here we go. So Nectar in place of Tusk. That was a pretty easy one. Let's keep going. I think either Morocco is going to be very close to Prairie or Freckle, and I think in the previous episode, these two were the closest. So let's go ahead and look. Boom. Did you guys see that? Do I need to play it in slow motion? Yeah, those are very close. So again, nothing revolutionary about the Biba palette, if you want my true honest opinion. And I just like the compactness of this palette. There's something about the shape and the size. And again, if you guys don't already know, these Pro palettes do pop out. The pans in these, they do pop out. It comes with a mirror. It's just underneath this, and I go ahead and use this because A, I don't really want you guys seeing my camera up there, and B, I want the shade names. That's more important to me. So, but it comes with a mirror just like Biba. The only thing is this is a traditional yearbook style cardboard packaging, and this is plastic. And then this is a little cheaper than this, substantially, but other than that, they're basically the same. Let's move on. This shadow right here, Cinnamon, I think it might be close to either Freckle or Tone. let's see, freckle, tone. All right, what about buff? I think buff might be even warmer. Yeah, nothing. I would say, okay, let's try, this is freckle, right? Yes. So this one, let's try sand dune. Oops. Do you hear that dryness? Get the lotion out for my hands here, folks. I don't know. I feel like those two could be similar, maybe. Or would these be more similar? Because this is an orange and this is kind of a reddish brown, but this is more of like an orange terracotta. We'll come back to it. We'll come back. Not really sure here. Now let's wipe the board clean. We didn't find anything that really worked. I'm having to use lotion to like get the rest of this off, so it's gonna seem like I primed my hands, and in a way I kind of have. But I want to get this staining off, so I'm just trying. And also these rags are just, if anybody knows of any good ones, maybe I should switch to like some sort of microfiber or something like that. I don't know. But these rags are just killing me as far as my hands go. They're so incredibly rough. All right, I think we're back to a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and wipe off any excess, so there might be a little bit, but let's go ahead and go with Pasha. I'm gonna go ahead and put the swatch up here. Maybe that's how I should do it. See how it like looks like it's wet now? Yeah. Then I'm gonna head down here to red cedar and saffron. So red cedar, saffron. Really not getting the depth. Just really not getting that depth. Let's go ahead and try ash brown. That's probably going to be with seed, don't you think? Yeah. So ash brown goes with seed, kind of like the last palette. Dark goes with dark. I'm going to say that sand dune and freckle might be, or maybe, you know, this shade right here, which is red cedar, might go in place of buff and tone because these are close enough. But I'll put it under buff. Here, let's do it this way. And then I'll put buff up here. Oh yeah, look at that. That's so incredibly similar. We gotta go. We have got to go. And then I'm kind of gonna say, like, if you have this one, it can double as this one. This is just a different formula, I feel like, but it's almost the exact same shade. I don't know why she put these so incredibly close. I mean, no, I guess I see it now. But then I feel like you build this up. No, I guess they are different. Yeah. Maybe tone would be very close to pink beige. Not at all. All right, let's move on. That was Pasha, wasn't it? Right? Yeah, that was Pasha. Not really seeing anything else other than this shade right here. We're not going to get the depth that we're looking for, though. Should I put it next to it? I'm going to say yes. It's going to give a similar vibe, just not the depth, but I feel like you could get additional depth with this one. This is even darker than Seed. Not going to have anything for Tour, not going to have anything for Sculpture or Spot. We already knew that. Rayon, the only other two mattes that we have left. And would these two be close enough? I'm going to say no, not really. So if we've got this shade right here, what would it be close to? Like Cocoa, maybe? No. Freckle. I'm gonna have to go with these two, just because I feel like this is similar enough to something that will put it up on the board. So we've got, you know, quite a few of the mattes. The creamy matte rayon doesn't have anything, and then again, tone not really having anything, but we've got quite a bit of our bases covered. We've got something from the rosy neutral row. We've got something from the orange brown area. And then we've got something from down here. We've got a light and a dark. So I feel like we've got almost all bases covered except for this. That you're not gonna find in the Soleil palette. Now let's go and finish up with the shimmers. There's only 3. There's Rustic, Monroe, and Shine. Let's get the grease board cleaned off here. So sometimes I like to take a little of this Daily Brush Cleanser. It's basically like an oil, and then I just wipe it off my hands, and it just wipes off incredibly easy. So that's kind of a secret that I use, and it kind of also moisturizes at the same time. It does leave a little bit of a film, so sometimes my swatches are very like wet looking. I apologize, but I gotta do what I gotta do. Okay, Rustic. All right, let me go ahead and get the swatch for Rustic down. Okay, there it is. And then does this one do it justice? Not really. Not really. What about this one? No, but you know what this one does kind of look like it would be in place of? Rayon. Kind of, doesn't it? Although these are 2 different finishes, so you really wouldn't use the shadow in the same way, so I would say no, we can't do that. But if you wanted to like see, you know, we've got similar tones, just different finishes, there you go. I think for all intents and purposes these 2 are going to have to be similar, although I could see that being a deepening up shade. This is like that's a duochrome. So is this one. Quartz and Mirage are both duochromes. Boy, can we do this? I don't know. I'm gonna say Rustic. Probably not got anything similar as far as that goes. Oops. Because I just don't know if, you know, this is too burgundy red, this is too brown. I'm gonna have to say no. Nope. Next one, Shine. Let's do Shine. So let's go and get a swatch of it up on the board. It's very pretty. I feel like this one or the next one might be very similar. Okay, here it's a little icier pink. This one's a little bit more nude champagne, which I think this one's more desirable, if you ask me. Let's go ahead and swatch the rest of these right next to them. Again, this one has the more icy nude. This is icy pink, and then this is more nude, less ice. That's too dark, as well as this is probably going to be, this is a duochrome. Yeah, so I'm going to say these 2 are probably the most similar. Those 2. Okay, so I'll go ahead and go with this one, which is Aurora. Oh, you know, I never did check on Opal. Opal is actually a sparkle shadow, but it is got, you can build up opacity, and this is also available in a single. I know because I bought it. It might be better with Monroe. I think I'm still going to go with this one. This is a little bit darker. So now I'm going to go ahead and take off this. Oh boy. Let's go ahead and use Monroe. Oh, that is an icy shade right there. And you know what fits that bill? Soft Pearl. Oh man, almost same thing in formula and everything, just ever so slightly different. Can you see it? You can see it on camera too, just ever so slightly different. On the naked eye, I would, wait a second, I can't see the difference. It even shines the same opacity and everything. Can you see the difference? Leave a comment down below if you can see any differences in that shade, but I cannot see any differences. So we're gonna go with Soft Pearl. And that is the shade for Monroe. I'm feeling really good about not being able to get Rustic as much. So this shade and this shade, I mean, I'm gonna say yes, because I have used this type of shade as like an outer 1/3, and I would use this as an outer 1/3 shadow, or even a deepening shade. And I feel like this, well, I really wouldn't deepen up a crease with this color, but if you used it as an outer 1/3, yes, possibly. So go ahead and put it up on the board. Do I think it's exact? All right. I think that's about going to cover it all. Yeah, I think that's it. So there we have it. Those are the similar shades. Should we do side-by-side swatches just to show for comparisons? I feel like we should. So the top one is going to be the Natasha Denona, and the is that hard panning? Please don't tell me that's hard panning. And the bottom part is going to be the Lorac. Okay, just trying to stay out of these like wrist wrinkles right here, but that's Prairie and Nectar, maybe, I think it is. I'm gonna really have a hard time with this Soleil palette because I've already taken the shadows out of it, so I do apologize, but I will just try and list them down below. Okay, then this shade right here, and this is either Cinnamon or Morocco, but I believe it is Cinnamon. There we go. And then yeah, let's just go down the list of stuff that I have. So then the next one's going to be Shine, and then it's going to be Aurora. Folks, I have to say, the formula feels very similar. It does feel very similar. Lorac has a very similar feel. And I know Black, Legally Black Beauty, she was saying like, you've gone too far, but it's the truth. The truth is the truth is the truth. Okay, those two are the similar ones. I feel like you could get a similar look with those two. Okay, Pasha. I'm giving some really like juicy swatches here. Maybe almost too juicy. Yeah, and this one here is maybe not quite. Maybe not going to be able to build up to that level of intensity. That one might be a miss. But, you know, similar in tone, like if this was backed off of the brown a little bit, not quite so dark, I feel like it would be very similar. Let's go ahead and check out Monroe, because I think I'm just very proud of myself that I found these two. So there's Monroe. Blow away that. This is a little bit dusty. I think when Lorac gets deeper, they do get a little bit more powdery, more like the ABH powdery shadows. Whereas Natasha Denona knows when to kind of change the formula to a cream to powder, and so then she kind of avoids that. There it is. Oh, did you see that? Did you see it? Oh boy. Just took a chunk. Like, look at that. It's okay. See? We recovered. But like I just went straight. Oh, you probably didn't see it in the camera, but that's okay. Oh, look at those two. Very, very similar. There you go. Okay. And then we're going to go ahead and switch arms here. These two aren't very similar in finish, but I still just wanted to kind of point out that, you know, there's similar vibes going on here. There we go. Similar vibes. This is one of Natasha Denona's cream to powders, and then this is a shimmer formula from Lorac, and I think that one is, yeah, Euphoria. So see, I swatched out a turn here. I'll go back up and grab Buff. There we go. This is Buff. This is the Lorac shade, whatever it is. I would have to look. I didn't really see what I grabbed. Seed. Now I know this one is ash brown. I know where it was seeded in the palette. And I feel like these would give you very similar vibes, even though I think Seed is a little bit lighter. Ooh, those are very similar. And they would perform the same way and do the same thing, I feel like. I feel like they would do the same thing. So, then we have Tusk. Of course, I had to swatch the darkest. Now I must swatch the lightest. If I can get this off. Swatching is kind of messy, believe it or not. Here we are, I'm ready. I'm ready for my swatch. Tusk. And then I do recall that this is the shade Nectar. Nectar. I tried Warm Vanilla, and Warm Vanilla wasn't it. I ended up going a little bit darker with Nectar. I don't know what happened there. Is this a cream to powder or something? I don't know. Why is it oxidizing or something? Anyways, that's kind of acting funky. A little bit of tack on my arm? I don't know. I might have a little bit of like tackiness from wiping everything, or it could have been that I wiped my hands and got something, but those two are fairly similar when this one doesn't act up. Tusk is just kind of being a little weirdo. Yeah, I think you can see they're both fairly similar. So, okay, there we have it. We've got some similar shades. So how many do we have? We've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 of the 15 shadows here. 3 on the bottom, of course, we knew from the beginning, and then Rustic we were not able to find a dupe for. So not bad, not bad. It's a little bit more closer than the Fairy Tale Forest, but we kind of probably could anticipate that since Lorac Soleil is their warm tone palette, and this is a warm tone neutrals, and the warm tone neutral for Lorac brand is Soleil. So the Fairy Tale Forest I think is supposed to be kind of their more like fantasy type palette. So I was very interested to see how close I got, and I feel like I got very close. I think that you would be extremely happy with the Soleil palette in place of the Biba palette if that's something that you were, you know, looking at. I think you would be very, very happy with this palette. I think you will find you can do a lot more with more shimmers than having more mattes, because although buff and tone swatch very differently, I would venture to say they probably behave very similarly on the eye. And as far as that goes, Tusk and Freckle might even behave quite similarly, or Freckle and Prairie. Seed and Cocoa are probably far enough different that that would be, you know, something that you could see some depth and dimension from. But again, like I said, Opal is a sparkle shadow, so you've got a sparkler here, you've got a couple of different shimmers. This Desert Rose is also a sparkle shadow. And then you've got this duochrome here, and this one actually looks like a duochrome as well. So then you've got even more shadow, you know, shimmers to choose from to put on the eyelids. You've got toppers to put over those shimmers to take them up from daytime appropriate at the office to putting your, you know, letting your hair down and, you know, heading over for a couple drinks afterwards. You know what I mean? So you've got a lot more versatility in the Soleil palette, if you ask my opinion. I think that's just kind of something that comes with the nature of having such a, you know, shimmer heavy palette versus a matte heavy palette. I feel like this is probably more office appropriate, but this right here can give you all the office appropriate looks as well as the after hours looks that you're desiring as well. So thanks so much for joining me. If you found value in this content and you are excited about single eyeshadows or comparisons of palettes on the sides, and you like sunscreens and makeup brushes, make sure you subscribe to this channel, and we can't wait to have you along in the community. Thanks so much, guys. Can't wait to see you in my next video. Bye.